22-year-old Ricky Collet has made history, becoming the first openly trans pageant contestant to win the title of Miss Netherlands on Saturday. That means that she'll represent her country in Miss Universe later this year. Collet will be just the second trans Miss Universe contestant after Angela Ponce, who represented Spain back in 2018. And if she wins, Collet would be the first trans woman to win the coveted tiara.
Ricky!
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. You saw the intro. Yes, a trans woman, this person that we see on the screen right here, has won Miss Netherlands and will be going on to compete in the Miss Universe pageant representing the Netherlands. Now, when it comes to a situation like this and circumstances like this, me personally, obviously, I don't have any vested interest in what goes on at Miss Universe pageants, right? I mean, I don't watch this stuff, but I do think this sets a dangerous precedent. I might not be very interested in Miss Universe pageants, but I definitely am interested in the cultural fascination of men being allowed to, identify as women and women being allowed to identify as men. And I think that if we don't try to maintain some sort of solid truth or fact behind those two statements right there, if we don't try to, stay rooted in the truth of that, the future that we will see will be very wild. I mean, it already feels like we living inside of a world that you can only think of in movies. It's things going on now today in today's day and age that maybe 10 years ago we probably did not see coming. It's a crazy world we live in, a clown world. But furthermore, I don't know if you guys remember, the new owner of Miss Universe is actually a trans woman, and they gave this speech earlier this year. Let's take a look at it.
From now on, it's going to be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women.
All right, so you guys saw that. Could it be some bias going on here? Absolutely could be. Could this person have won the pageant simply because they are trans? That absolutely could be the case. I'll be 100% honest. I don't know exactly what wins you the pageant, but I did see the runner-up. I'll put a picture on the screen right now. This is the runner-up, and I mean, she's very good looking. I don't see how a woman who is actually a woman can lose a beauty pageant to a woman who was born as a boy. I mean, which makes that person not even a real woman. It's like I said, clown world stuff we talking about. But hey, this is the Netherlands, and this is what they want to do. Cool. But like I said, the owner of Miss Universe is transgender. So let's just keep that in mind as we watch the video. But this person goes by the name of Ricky, and they gave their speech, or a little speech about winning. So let's play the clip.
Hello Universe, my name is Ricky, finalist to represent the Netherlands for Miss Universe 2023. I hope y'all had a wonderful Pride Month. For this Pride Month, Miss Universe asked us to describe ourselves in one word. The word I'm choosing is victory. Because as a little boy, I conquered all the things that came through my path. And look at me now, standing here as a strong, empowering, and confident trans woman. Love is love. Be who you want to be. And never forget, always celebrate your pride.
All right, so you guys saw that. I mean, he didn't sugarcoat it. He said I was a boy and grew up, conquered all my obstacles, became a woman. Now I'm Miss Netherlands winner of the pageant, so hey, it is what it is. I'm not necessarily angry or outraged at this person. I mean, if the beauty pageant commissions, if the Netherlands, if they allow it, I really think that those are the people who you should take up a issue with this. I mean, it's kind of like the affirmative action thing, right? Like if I'm a black person who wants to get into college, don't get mad at me because I got into college using affirmative action. Get mad at the rule, like they did. They went and they challenged it at the Supreme Court and they got the rule changed. But it's like if this is allowed, then people who benefit from it being allowed will take advantage of it. I mean, that just is what it is. So, I don't really got much to say towards this person. I don't want to bring no ill will towards this person, but it's really the commission and the people who allow trans women to compete, and also the fact that they picked this person as the winner. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the worst part. Like I said earlier, I don't know exactly what goes into deciding the winner of a beauty pageant. I don't know if it's all about beauty. I don't know if it's about integrity, your brains, your smarts. I don't know what it is, but I know the runner-up, in my opinion, is more attractive. I mean, that's just my opinion, and it's actually a woman. You know what I mean? It's actually a woman. I understand I don't really understand it, but let's just say I understand the virtue behind, or the fake virtue behind wanting to have a trans woman winner. Pride Month just ended, representation, all of that, but it's like you taking away from somebody deserving to give it to another person just because of like a marginalized group status. That just don't sit well with me. I just think it's amazing. We went from the feminist talking point of the patriarchy where, men are oppressive and, men disrupt women's spaces and have advantages and blah, 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 to now you have women being beat in competition, sports, beauty pageants, etc., being chosen over women in competitions by individuals who were born men and transition to being pretend women. So trans women are beating actual women in their own things, at what they are good at. It's absolutely ridiculous. When it comes to beauty pageants, sports is one thing. I think trans people should have their own sports, categories as well. But I think that would be harder to pull off. I think it'd be much easier to maneuver a trans women's beauty pageant. Like, why not just let trans women have their own beauty pageant, have their own space? But this is exactly why I said this sets a dangerous precedent, because if trans women have their own space and their own beauty pageant, then that is telling the world right there, you know what, trans women are not women. They need their own space to have their own beauty pageants. But when we allow a trans woman, someone who was born a man, to win a competition where females are in it, a competition of natural born females, of natural born women, then right there, that's almost like they're saying that, trans women are equal to real women, are just as, whatever, fill in the blank. But, it's like we live in a lie when we say that. So that's why I think it sets a dangerous precedent. And that's why, to perpetuate that dangerous precedent, they can't do a trans only beauty pageant, because, that's a lie that they want to continue to perpetuate. Now, of course, the internet is going crazy about this. I don't even know who this person is, but they had some thoughts about the trans model winning Miss Netherlands. So let's roll the clip.
A transgender model won Miss Universe Netherlands this year, and conservatives are not too happy about it. There have been so many transphobic tweets just like this one where they're misgendering the winner and comparing it to physical sports, which I just think is a ridiculous comparison. In terms of more physical sports like football or swimming, I don't really know if we have enough research yet on HRT to know at what point it's fair for trans people to be competing against cis individuals in competitive sports. But beauty pageants just seem like a completely different story to me. Like, if you as a cis woman lost a swimming competition to a trans girl who was twice your size, then yeah, I could totally see how we could have a conversation about some of the retained advantages through transition. But this is a totally different story. A beauty pageant is all about looks. I think a lot of conservatives, when they bring up this point, especially men, it seems like it comes from a super misogynistic place because they're like, oh, if men start taking over beauty pageants, then like, what do women have? And it's kind of like they're saying that a woman's entire self-worth is just based off of what she looks like. And that's really toxic. It's a super toxic mindset to have. Not to mention, aren't most trans women, especially those of us who had to transition later, aren't we kind of at a disadvantage when it comes to meeting?
I knew something was fishy. Those of us, this is a trans person right here talking. I knew something was fishy, y'all. I knew it was. He said those of us. This is a trans person. Wow.
Trans women, especially those of us who had to transition later, aren't we kind of at a disadvantage when it comes to meeting the beauty standard anyways?
All right, so to address what this person just said, you would think that trans women have a disadvantage in something like a beauty pageant, right? But you can't discredit or discount the fact that trans women, trans men, trans people are categorized as victimized, marginalized, disadvantaged, disenfranchised, all these big words. They classified as a marginalized group. So when you have a group like that, you know, there are people who will feel sorry for them or just want to give them more opportunities over somebody else, you know, want to give them more representation because they feel as if these people aren't represented enough or as if they aren't treated fairly. So, you know, and also to mention the fact that Miss Universe is owned by a trans woman as well. I mean, you can't discredit these things and you can't act like this isn't real. I mean, you know, this person is obviously speaking out of bias because this is a trans woman, you know, formerly recognized as a boy, but, you know, now walking around as a trans woman. So, you know, I think that's just some bias talking. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think Miss Universe, they got to watch out because Miss Netherlands is coming through hot. Trans woman, you know, the trendsetter, first, one of the few trans women to actually win as a finalist. So I think the women got to be, the natural born women in the Miss Universe pageant got to be on their game because, you know, it's going to be a lot of people looking to support Miss Netherlands simply because they are a trans woman. I mean, that's just, it just is what it is, you know? And lastly, this person mentioned that it's misogynistic for men to have the opinion that trans women shouldn't be competing in women's spaces. I mean, no, it's not that. It's not coming from a place of misogyny. It's not coming from a place of, you know, all women are good for is their looks. It's more so coming from a place where we have to protect, at least for me, I think for me and for a lot of people, it's about protecting, you know, the truth. It's about protecting reality. And like I said, the reason why they don't want to do a trans only, you know, beauty pageant is because that would cement the fact that trans women are not women. That slogan would not be able to stand true. That slogan would not be able to be touted out as much as it is if they had their own pageant, because you would be separating them from actual women, meaning that there is a difference. But in order for that statement to hold any validity, which it never will, but in order for it to hold any validity, they have to include and lump trans women into beauty pageants with regular women. They have to lump trans women into sports with regular women. They just have to in order to keep perpetuating this lie. And people are tired of this lie being perpetuated. And, you know, men have children. There are men with daughters. Men have mothers. Men have sisters, you know. So this isn't just a situation that only affects women. It actually does affect men as well. It affects all of us. But that's all I got for you guys. Please let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell on your way out. And until next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.